I cannot believe that I'm filming this video. A little bit of a background story. I was not trying to get pregnant and I did not expect it. I didn't know whether I was ovulating or not because my cycle is very crazy, so I was not really paying attention, but I started feeling weird things. That's how I started suspecting that something was going on. So I wrote those things down and I'm gonna share them with you. So let's get started. The very first thing that I noticed was about like 5 days since the day when we probably conceived. I went out for a run and I noticed that after just a couple of blocks, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot continue. I'm just tired. I need to take a break already. And I usually would feel like that right before my period. I didn't pay too much attention to it because I thought, oh man, maybe my period is very early again. And I did not run anymore after that day because I was visiting my boyfriend and I had to fly back to my country and I just didn't have time for that. But shortly after, a couple of days after that, we went on a 45-minute trip by car and I noticed that I felt very nauseous, but not nauseous like from food. It felt like, oh, I don't like being in the car and things were spinning a little bit. Again, I didn't really pay too much attention to that. When I really started to suspect something was when about 9 to 10 days after the ovulation, my head started spinning. So I would just walk and I would feel like, oh, wow, this is weird. Or I would stand up and again, I would be like, oh, wow. And also my breast. 7 to 8 days after ovulation, I would feel something like here on the top of it. I would feel kind of some tenderness or something like that. But it was very mild. And some women reported being very strong, like they couldn't even take a shower because it would be really uncomfortable for them. But in my case, it was just, ooh. Now it feels a lot like the letdown when I'm breastfeeding. But at that time, that was a very new sensation to me. So it felt like, oh, like maybe when you're exercising and you're using this muscle, and it felt kind of like that. And the last thing that I noticed was a stuffy nose. Very like when you have a cold, but it was empty. Like I would try to blow my nose. Sorry, this is probably gross, but yeah. I would try to blow my nose and nothing would come out of it. It just felt really stuffy. Later I learned that that happens because of the blood vessels expanding, so just the space from where the air flows is smaller and you feel like your nose is stuffy, but it actually not. And yeah, then I started having all of the usual first trimester symptoms, but those things happened about like 6 to 8 weeks after conception. So to sum things up, I was tired when exercising, but I felt pretty normal when I was doing nothing. I had some nausea when in a car. My head would spin a little bit, my breast felt tender, and my nose felt stuffy. So those were the 5 symptoms that I experienced. Then they went away and all of the beautiful first trimester symptoms kicked in, and that was not fun. So that's the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it, that it was useful to you, and should you have any question, as always, write it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time. Bye!